If you've been paying attention to any of the things I've posted recently on social media, you might be aware of the fact that I am attempting to sell my collection. And I figured because of these posts, I didn't want to raise a ton of concerns with the community and my fan base. So because of that, I wanted to do a video talking and explaining to you guys just exactly what I'm kind of going for, what I'm doing, and why I'm doing it. So yeah, we just get right into that. So first and foremost, I want to address the fact that I am not actually just selling my entire collection. I'm not getting rid of my Tengu plant library. I obviously worked very hard to put that all together, and I don't want to lose all those decks. And in reality, a lot of those decks are just, it's like bulk, right? So you're not even going to get a huge return on selling a lot of those cards anyway. So it just, to me, doesn't make a lot of sense to get rid of them. I would much rather keep that library, keep it all together. So I'm not necessarily selling my entire collection. I'm just selling cards to rarity downgrade. In fact, I'm gonna be honest, I've already planned and put into my card. I'm already fully prepared to buy back literally every card I'm selling, just in a lower rarity. And the reason for that is because, as you guys know, I graduated college like a year ago. And since graduating college, I was, obviously left with a decent chunk of debt. And through that, I've had my fair share of financial struggles, to say the least. So, you guys don't typically see it, but, you'll see me, for example, streaming. I'll be streaming this coming weekend, doing a Tengu Plant tournament. And oftentimes, literally right after I end that stream, I go eat food and then I go drive DoorDash until 2 a.m. And a lot of times I'm literally just working 7 days a week just because I'm trying to make a dent in my credit card debt, which in reality, it's not a ton of money. It's just interest is brutal. And both me and my girlfriend end up working almost 7 days a week just trying to do something about it. And we've given a good honest shot for about 6 months. And I've just kind of came to the conclusion that in reality, it's not really worth the impact or toll it has on my life, right? I would much rather sell out some of my cards. I have very high-end fancy cards, as you guys have seen on my channel. And as much as I love those cards, I really just think that it's ultimately all my problems can be solved just by selling those cards and simply rarity downgrading, right? Going from ulti effect veilers to ultra effect veilers. It's not even that big of a deal, but for me, I just feel like this is what I have to do, what's best for my life, and it'll honestly make my life 10 times easier. It's going to save me a ton of money a month in credit card payments and honestly allow me to build savings and just be in a much better place financially as a whole. It'll also mean I no longer have to work 7 days a week, and I can put more time and attention and focus on doing YouTube content, for example, and just focusing more on my actual day job, because I do really enjoy my day job as well. So that's why I'm selling, and that's where it's at. It's not a not a huge deal or anything crazy where I lost my leg or something, need to pay for surgery. It's just I kind of just got fed up with trying to pay off credit cards, and I really think I can improve my quality of life overall just by accepting the fact that I'm not going to have the shiniest cardboard in the room, and it is what it is. Is it sad? Am I devastated that I have to sell it? And to some degree, yes. But ultimately, it doesn't make a lot of sense to hold on to cards when you're struggling in the way that I am. So, yeah. Basically, we're going to end that struggle, and it'll be pretty seamless. So, that's why I'm selling, and now we'll talk about kind of what that means for the channel, what that means for me. As far as my channel goes, you're likely not going to see much of a difference. The only difference you're really going to see is I'm not going to have super high-end cards when I do my deck profiles, but I'm actually kind of excited about this change because I'm also going to try to walk you guys through this whole experience of selling my collection, what it's like, and how I actually do end up rebuilding. I'm going to walk you through what cards I end up buying to, I guess, make my collection still foil, still looking nice without breaking the bank and being absurdly expensive like it is. The reality is, the collection I have right now, I didn't spend anywhere near what this collection goes for these days. I bought a lot of these cards in 2016, and they just kind of went up in price since then. So for the most part, what I sell, I'm not even taking a loss on. I'm actually, making a decent chunk off of it, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of ways to make these decks look really cool without having to go and spend a ton of money on high-end max rarity cards. In reality, there's been a million reprints for, especially in regards to retro formats, there's been so many reprints of cards that are foil and looking nice. And so yeah, it's really not any big deal to just kind of go that route. So I'll get to walk you guys through it. And then also I had another video idea that I kind of want to work on, which is talking to you guys about how to sell a collection. One thing I know is I've worked with vendors, I've done a bit of vending myself, and I understand what processes they go through and what they're thinking when buying a collection, as well as what you should be thinking about when trying to sell and avoid getting ripped off. Because I could be honest, when I posted my collection, that there's some vultures out there, guys. Like, there's some like genuinely terrible people who buy collections. Like, no blame that there's a ton of respectable buyers out there, but there are also guys that are just like, their whole goal is just to take advantage of what you're doing and all that. And so yeah, it's not ideal. So I feel like I could do a video kind of walking you guys through what that looks like. So let me know in the comments if you think that sounds good. That would be great. And then also, if you guys want to just support me in these endeavors, if you want to support me in the growth of this channel, and honestly help me out in regards to everything, just by simply subscribing to my channel. I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers. Once I hit 1,000 subscribers, YouTube actually pays me money. Like, my videos get monetized. So if you think I've made any money on YouTube, you're wrong. I haven't done that. This is just strictly something I do in my very limited free time, which, like I said, now I'm gonna have more, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, so if you want to help, just subscribe. Once we hit 1K, you know, we're making moves, guys, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys who support me in all this. So yeah, that is basically what's going to happen with the channel, but I know there's also going to be some concerns about the website, so we can talk about that. So one thing to note for the website, like, as far as this goes, originally I really just wanted to feature all the different decks using real cards, like as you can see here, you know. So we have the deck shown like this on a little graphic that was put together. You have the link, you have the, you know, the deck list, stuff like that. And that's all fine and dandy. I really enjoy doing this, but at the same time, it also drastically limits the amount that I can do on the website, and especially in terms of growth. And now that I no longer am going to have a lot of these high-end cards that you see in the deck profiles, it's going to be a lot better to just stop using real cards in general for these things. It's sad because one of the reasons why I wanted to use real cards to begin with is because when you look at cards like these, I think it showcases just how beautiful these decks really can be, and that kind of gives you guys an idea of, like, you know, what to expect if you want to buy in, and, like, you know, just how great some of these retro decks look in max rarity or high rarity. And so I really like showcasing that, but I think for the most part, most people just go to these websites to look at the deck list and understand, like, how different decks could be built and just get ideas on what you should be building when trying to build a certain archetype, stuff like that. So the ultimate goal is to just adjust how the website is put together. This also means I'm going to be able to add a lot more decks and a lot more formats. There's actually been a lot of decks that I want to add to the website, or even other formats that I want to add to the website, but it's all just locked behind a paywall because of the fact that I've been trying to pay off all this debt this whole time. Basically, I haven't been able to add certain decks, like, or it's like, well, I want to add this deck, but I still need to buy this ulti, and once I get that, then I can add it to the website, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense. I think this website is very functional as a tool for you guys to understand how to build certain decks and just get starting point ideas. And that's kind of what I wanted to do, to get people into formats, and especially other formats outside of the norm, because I feel like there's a lot of really good formats that people just aren't aware of or don't play, and I really want to shed light on those formats specifically. So yeah, what you can expect to see from the website is we will likely adjust and no longer have real cards featured in these little deck profiles. We'll probably switch to doing something like, you know, just making graphics with the decks I'll put on there, like using like Dueling Book or something like that. Who knows? I'm going to look into different design ideas and how I want to go about it, but yeah, we can expect to no longer see this. I do like this. I think this looks so great, but like I said, I at the end of the day, if I don't got the super foily cards anymore, then it's not going to look nearly as good to do. But it also does allow me to explore further into formats, like I said, by being able to just afford more decks in general, you know, like and that's part of the reason why I decided to, like, basically rarity downgrade everything instead of a portion. A lot of people ask me, like, well, why don't you just sell just enough to pay off your debt? Why are you selling like everything? And it's because if you don't sell everything, then you're putting yourself in a position of, oh, I only sold X amount of cards, and now the plan is to buy them back over time, right? And I wanted to kind of remove that option. I wanted to be like, hey, it would take forever to buy them back over time if I sell everything. So the better thing to do is, basically rarity downgrade literally everything, and then just accept that those rarities are no longer going to be on the high end. And that means that I can just effectively look to purchase lower rarities of all these different cards and just accept that. And that allows me to purchase lower rarity decks and just play with, have more decks to play with as a whole, because I'm not sitting there gatekeeping myself by saying, hey, I have to have it in max rarity or high rarity to play. It's really nice. I've been a rarity person my entire life, but I think it's, being an adult, it's time to move on from that. If you got the money to afford it, hey, more power to you. But for me, I don't think it's worth sitting on that lump of money. It also feels really bad to play with cards that are that expensive, because you're super worried you're gonna damage them. I don't know if anyone else has had that happen. So yeah, we're dropping it down. But yeah, so website might change, but I think ultimately it'll change for the better. You're gonna see more formats there. I've already started working on a second format that I was going to add to the website, but like I said, I needed to get more cards for it to work, and now I no longer am going to have that barrier. So you likely will be able to see more stuff coming on the website, because I'm going to have more time to work on it, which I think ultimately is going to be positive for you guys. So that's why I'm selling my cards, guys. It's not a huge deal. Nothing serious happened. It's just a kind of an adjustment in my way of thinking and, how I want to approach my life. But other than that, I just want to try to keep making content. Nothing's going to stop. We're going to keep pushing Tengu Plant content out there. I want to keep trying to grow the format to, where it's going. In all honesty, I'm seeing some of the effects of it. I'm definitely seeing more people posting about Tengu Plant format on social media. I'm seeing it starting to grow, and it feels really, really good, because it's very motivating when I see that happen. I love seeing people giving it a try and starting to play it, because that was my whole goal with making content to begin with. So that's really cool. That's super exciting to see. But other than that, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. I just wanted to give a brief explanation on why I was going this route. Some of you probably don't give the slightest bit of a shit, but for those of you that maybe this raised some concerns, figured I'd address it just so you guys know where things are going. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks to you guys who support me and who are going to support me even on this video. Subscribe, like, comment, do all that good stuff, and make sure you guys have a great time doing today.